I roamed and rambled, and I followed my footsteps.
It doesn't look much, but fields like this one in North Yorkshire are set to become battlegrounds. Whose land it is and what can be done on it takes on new meaning. The reason? Fracking.
This land was made for you and me.
This site's been leased by a company heavily into fracking. The lease says the person who owns the land is already earning £15,000 a year, and if they find shale gas here and pump it, they could earn more. And the owner is the Queen. There's already a conventional gas facility here, but in 2012 Third Energy won a so-called screening opinion, the first stage of planning, to drill 2 deep boreholes on the Queen's land, one into the shale where fracking exploration could take place. They own several potential fracking sites nearby.
You can stick your fracking trailing up your...
Shale gas has provoked intense and vocal opposition. Protests continue at Barton Moss in Salford. At Balcombe in Surrey, protests also flared last year. But this is nothing compared to what protesters promise when the next round of licences is awarded. The government wants 40 exploration wells to be drilled by 2015. For fracking to make a significant contribution to Britain's energy needs will mean 100 sites per year going through planning permission by 2024. In Malton, the nearest town to the Queen's site, we found dissatisfaction at the level of information about wider plans to develop shale gas in the area.
They're trying to put it through by the back door, I think, and you know, it's just wonderful, but they don't tell all, I don't think they tell all the story.
They go on about eco this and eco that. Why bother looking for a limited source of gas when we can look for other sources of energy?
Yeah.
You know, sun, wind, whatever.
One feels there's a profit margin here, which is allowing exploration to go ahead without proper consultation.
The Duchy of Lancaster said it does not stand to gain financially from fracking, as all oil and gas is owned by the state, and that it had not received any applications to frack on its land. It said, as a responsible landlord, the Duchy would only consider granting licences for shale gas extraction in accordance with strict governmental policy and where the science and technology had been rigorously tested and the utmost safety assurances were in place. Third Energy told us, we made an application to expand conventional operations but withdrew this application for operational reasons last year. The company has no plans to carry out fracking for shale gas on land being leased from the Duchy of Lancaster. The British fracking industry has an image problem. This heavy security was for a fracking conference yesterday. They switched the venue to a British Army base at the last minute to avoid protests. I wasn't allowed to know the venue of this shale gas industry conference until an hour before by text message. There's loads of police and security here. The industry is looking forward to a bonanza, but it's pretty terrified of the protest movement against it. And that's because, for the people here, a move to shale gas is crucial to enhance our energy security. Europe is massively dependent on Russian gas. This graph, produced by the industry, shows how, on the best case scenario, by 2050, fracked gas could reduce our dependence on both Russian gas and liquefied natural gas from Qatar. But to make that happen, they have some persuading to do. Despite the secrecy, it wasn't long before protesters turned up yesterday, and this is what any landowner can look forward to as the next round of fracking applications goes ahead. Among the demonstrators was fashion designer Vivienne Westwood. What would you say to somebody who owned land and was planning to let it out to a fracking company?
Well, I would say, you know, don't sell your soul to the devil.
And for the 3 main parties which all support fracking, they have harsh words.
The fact that all 3 of them support it seems to be ignoring the fact that 40% of the country don't even know what fracking is. Yet 60% of the countries then are going to be up for exploration. You have these massive protests. They don't seem to be listening.
The Queen's site is just one piece of land, and the plans to drill there have been shelved. But with hundreds of fracking sites needed, the problem could be coming to a field near you.
This land was made for you and me.